Welcome to this season of the Central New York Business Journal Interviews series. This season, we are focusing on family-owned businesses in Central New York. And I am joined today by somebody who actually has two businesses that we're going to talk about. I have Cynthia Andela, and she is the president and CEO of Andela Products. And she is also the managing member of Ruby Lake Glass, LLC. So welcome, Cindy.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, it is. Likewise. So just to start out, so you have two businesses to talk about. Let's start out with talking about Andela Products. What does Andela Products do?
So we manufacture equipment and systems for recycling glass, specifically for turning glass back into sand. So our business was pretty well started with the concept of why don't we just turn waste glass back into sand, a very circular solution. It was mostly of interest to people not, more islands and other remote places where you didn't have glass recycling, bottle to bottle facilities. And the original machine was just a unique technology for taking the glass down into a sand with rounded edges, but keeping the debris larger so you can sort it out. And then I grew the business over the years to include small machines to large machines and all the accessory equipment that goes with it. So we do complete systems. So we're kind of a big frog in a little pond related to glass recycling back to sand.
And were you the founder of Andela Products?
Yeah. So Andela Products originally was an Andela tool and machine, which still is, we do business. DBA is Andela Products. And so our first machines went out in 1991 to 93 was when we were placing our first pulverizer systems.
Okay. And Ruby Lake Glass LLC, that's a more recent venture, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Yeah. So Andela Product makes equipment for recycling glass into sand. And as a result of that business, I spent a lot of time talking to people about markets for the glass, what you can turn your glass into for value add. And one of these opportunities was for turning glass, into a decorative aggregate or an aggregate that's colored for different applications. So Ruby Lake Glass is founded with my other partner, Jonathan Gross. Although from a family-owned business, my daughter and I are the majority owners of Ruby Lake Glass also. And we take glass that's in that sand or small gravel shapes. We have a proprietary process for coating it, and we can make it any color that's needed. So this is a specialty recycled glass product that goes onto roads or into coatings and provides color, texture, and durability. So that was started about 11 years ago.
So there's some kind of natural symmetry between the two businesses then.
There is, yeah. So for a long time, I just focused on the equipment and the systems to recycle the glass, but eventually really just saw this opportunity to do a glass recycling company itself, for turning recycled glass into this product.
You mentioned that your daughter is involved. Was she one of the co-founders at the time when you started Ruby Lake Glass?
Yeah, that's right. So my background is I'm a mechanical engineer with an MBA, mechanical engineer from U of M, and then an MBA from RPI here in New York. So my daughter Lisa, who's the co-owner of Ruby Lake, she's also a civil engineer. So she is someone who followed a little bit into my footsteps of engineering, and she takes care of like the administrative stuff, some design, and things related to that for Ruby Lake. And yes, she was one of the co-founders of that.
So the glass recycling business, has that changed over time with different sort of regulations or different recycling behaviors among the public?
Oh yeah, it really has. I often said, even though we've been doing I've been making the machines for turning glass into sand for a long time, almost 30 years. It sounds like forever. But it took a while to catch on because the idea of recycling glass back into industrial mineral or specialty sand or gravel really hasn't taken off as quickly as one would think in the United States, but we ship all over the world. So we have equipment all over the islands and different places. And here in the United States now, it's starting to come full circle, where it's becoming more of an interest because the traditional glass recycling markets are challenged by all the distances that waste glass has to travel. It has to be color sorted. And
Yeah.
also, we have industries more interested in recycling what comes out their waste. Okay, so the
Yeah.
zero waste programs in general from industry, they call on us to recycle their waste glass, and this could be, somebody that's just generating medical waste glass. I mean, clean but medical waste glass. One of our customers coming up that's doing quite a bit is Goodwill. Everybody gets rid of grandma's glassware and ceramicware, and
Yeah.
Goodwill can't sell all of it. That's a big cost if they put it in the landfill. So they can turn it back into a decorative sand or gravel, and they can sell it for fish tank gravel or just uh, multi-purpose sand.
So in terms of being a family-owned business, what do you think are some of the unique, challenges and opportunities that come along with that?
Well, I think the challenge is just the fact that you're a family. You have to have a good communication and a good plan to work together. And not all members of the family necessarily want to be involved. Okay. But the advantages are, I think, is that kind of the feeling that if you can maintain that family feeling, it's a family, we're small businesses. If you can maintain that workforce environment, that attitude in the company, it really works well because people want to work someplace where they want to work, where they feel accepted and so on. And when you're a family owned business, there's that kind of feeling like, you're part of this and we want your input. And if you can maintain that, I think people enjoy the feeling of having somebody who cares at the top that's passionate about their business.
Do you feel that being a family-owned business, you're seen, that affects how you're seen in your community?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because, we have a strong commitment to our community.
Mhm.
That we want to stay here because our workforce is from all around us and they're committed to the community also. And so it feels like the community appreciates that and they don't get the feeling you're just going to pick up and move somewhere and lay everybody off.
Yeah.
Um, so you're working with your daughter. One thing that comes up a lot with family business, and when you're talking about kind of spanning generations, is that younger generations sometimes have different priorities, they have different experiences, they have different kind of expectations of what they're looking for
Yeah.
in business. Do you find that in your company?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the younger generation, especially my daughter, who one of the founders of Ruby Lake Glass, but my son-in-law, I have two daughters, so both family members are involved. Daughters working there, but also my son-in-law for my other daughter, and they're juggling families and other obligations, and so there's a lot more interest with the younger generation about flexibility. They want to work more flexible hours. They appreciate the fact that you recognize those challenges. But it's not only family members. I think all workers need that these days. So we do that. Um, and then I think, they got maybe some different ideas on how to reach out and get the message across to the communities. Again, I'm all for embracing it. We're trying, like us older generations are trying like crazy to keep up with social media and how do we go out there, and they're pretty good at that. So I'm like, here, take it, run with it. Tell us how to do this. What's this AI thing? Okay, all right, so let's try that too. So I like it that they actually challenge us to keep trying new things.
So when we talk to multi-generational family businesses, the topic of legacy comes up. I was wondering if you had any thoughts about, what is the legacy of your companies, or what would you like the legacy of those companies to be?
Yeah. Well, I'm affectionately known as the glass lady because I know so much about glass and how to, the properties and how it's recycled, and I'm passionate about that. And I think that kind of goes into the bigger legacy. which is young people, including myself and my family members, all really want to work for something that's going to impact the world. I think the younger generation is worried about climate change a lot. Okay. And they look at us older generations saying, well, you're going to be gone. This is the world that we're left with. And we need to work on something that's going to make an impact. So if they can be part of a business and then eventually, run or participate in a business that is impacting the world in a positive way from an environmental point of view, it gives them a lot of, um, meaning for what they're doing every day. And so our legacy is pretty much in that. We stay in that lane. What can you do with glass as sand or aggregate that will benefit the world as a whole? So we divert it from the landfill and find the most beneficial use for it, whether it's building materials or a soil amendment, or mix it with compost,
Mhm.
put it in a sandblasting abrasive, just, really creating a circular solution for waste glass and contribute to the overall idea of keeping things out of the landfill. So we
Yeah.
want to be known for that in our specialty area.
So,
So making sure that we all have a legacy in the broad scheme of things.
So it's not me personally, it's more the,
yeah.
what I've kind of really enjoyed doing and would like them to do too.
Sure. And just one last question. Do you have anything on the horizon with either of the companies that you'd like to talk about? Any new initiatives in the near future?
Yeah, I think we're in the growth mode, especially we're located up near Richfield Springs, New York, which is a small community, but the
Mhm.
community and the county are putting up a business park, and we're gonna move and expand into that, create jobs, and just really add to the manufacturing base in upstate New York. So we're focusing on that growth. Um, and then apart from that, we're just focusing on our relationships with our customers. We do have customers all over the world. So there's a lot of, what are the partnerships we might have with other countries? We've shipped a number of materials to the, through the UN or to the UN peacekeeping camps, a number of
Oh,
pulverizers. So, that's the focus, is how can we, really expand into solutions that are international, because we already ship a lot of things internationally. And then at home, find a way to grow this business in an orderly fashion.
well, thank you very much, Cindy. I really appreciate your time today and sharing the details of your two companies. And best of luck in the future.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.